4:30 p.m. I'll call the meeting to order for January 8th, 2024 at 4:30 p.m. We don't have any guests tonight. So we go to item 3, roll call, please.
Zagami,
Here.
Hardinger,
Here.
Hubbard excused, Lopes Serrero,
Here.
Here.
Turn the waist down a little bit.
You're looking good, Luis.
Item 4, public comment. 2205 Bradle Avenue. Utility credit request for MXU replacement charge. I read his letter. Did they contact the village at all? They're gonna do construction there, or they have to
Yeah,
move this stuff?
I mean, they did get a siding permit. I have talked with our building inspections department since then, saying maybe we should put some kind of checkbox or an FYI of, if you come across your water meter reader, make sure you remove that and keep it, and because it'll need to be reinstalled after the siding is replaced.
How about we say do not remove it unless you inform the village first?
Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, people will call us, like, a done right or a siding company will call us and we'll go disconnect it and then reconnect it once the new siding is on. I guess in these situations where the homeowner does it themselves and they throw it away, we do bill them for a new one to reinstall it. So I think it was $165 for an MXU reader and then an hour of staff time. So it's about a $250 bill.
So he threw it out or what?
He did, yeah. He threw it out with the rest of the siding that they took off the house. So
I can't really imagine anybody doesn't understand what is that on their house, at the side of the house for all this time. And now they go to change the siding, they pull it out, throw it out. But I guess, did everybody read his letter?
Yeah, I read the letter. I couldn't even figure out how they did that. I'll just be like, I just was like, yeah, of course you have them. Like, what do you think that is? I think.
I mean, it's not the first time he's there. I mean, he's been there probably for a while, right?
yes,
That's the same landlord, right? Owner.
I believe so. I'd have to look to see when they bought the house, but
He's there for a while, and he has seen it hanging on the wall. He didn't question what it is, then he went to change siding, pull it out, throw it out.
I mean, this is the round box, that whole.
yeah, it's actually the square box
Oh, the
that
square
goes
box.
over the black hockey puck. Yeah,
Is that, well, okay, on my house, I think they're kind of a beige color.
yeah, correct.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so I just, he wanted me to refund or, cancel, void it. I said, well, no, we charge all of our utility customers the same way. You can, I guess, request that the committee, waive it, but I can't do that personally, so.
So how much you bill them?
I had it up earlier. It's $247.48.
Okay, what's your wish? Did you want to talk about it anymore?
I'm done.
Okay,
He said he didn't know what it was because it wasn't labeled.
Correct, yeah. I mean, it says census on it. He's like, well, what does census mean? I said, well, if you would have called and said, I've got a box that says census on it, I would have said that's for your water meter reading. We don't have a sticker or something on it that says Weston Water Utility. But it's not just a blank gray box.
Did he rip it out or do you have a contractor that ripped it out?
I'm not sure if it was him or a contractor, but
well, either way, he's responsible, he's the owner. He can demand it from his contractor to pay it,
Yeah,
if his contractor pull it out.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing he threw it away because otherwise he had that conversation.
yeah.
I feel like the contractor would know better.
I guess I would move to deny.
Is there a second
Second.
discussion?
I just want, can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
I just want to be clear, is this something we can even take action on? It looks like it's just public comment. Is it even an agendized item that we would be taking action on? Or should it just be,
I believe because it's specifically shown on the agenda,
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, he's asking the village.
I currently am denying it.
Yeah.
So unless the Public Works Committee want me to bring it back for approval, I guess I'd say we're fine.
I think we can make a decision because it is on the agenda. Yes, it is under public comment, but we can bring it back next meeting too, doesn't matter.
I'm fine with denying it. I don't see any reason we wouldn't, so.
Okay, we already have a motion on the floor, so all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Louis, your vote, aye.
I said aye, sorry about that.
Okay, thank you.
And then we do have one other email we received today. I can quickly read in. It's from Jim Pincinalt. As a village resident and trustee, I am concerned about the traffic congestion at the intersection of Jelnik and Alderson Streets. Between large gatherings for church services and school events, the time spent at this intersection is quite lengthy. I attended 2 meetings at the new administration building in November, which took place at 7:30 a.m. Cars were backed up in all directions for quite a distance, and the queue to make it through the intersection took a long time. With the close proximity to the school and most utilized park in the village, safety is a concern here. With the addition of funeral services at Mount Olive and Greenheck Turner Community Center bringing an estimated 25,000 annual visitors, what is the plan to improve this intersection? Reconstruction or a pavement overlay is scheduled for Jelnik in the near future. I would hate to see the work done twice and dollars spent just to see the intersection torn up and redone. When was the last traffic study done at this intersection? What were the results and recommendations based on the study? Can this be added as a topic for discussion for the February Public Works meeting, please? Thank you for your consideration in this manner. Sincerely, Jim Pincinel, 5002 Arrow Street, Weston, Wisconsin, 54476.
No, this is nothing new. He's correct, and I agree with him. The traffic, I think after we built the Green Hatfield House, there was a discussion on this. A couple of years ago, there was discussion again on it, and they thought there was no need for it, or it is doing good, so. But I can tell you, when there's a hockey tournament, there's a problem. When there is a basketball tournament, there's a problem. The soccer tournament, there's a problem. And the school itself, so it is a intersection need attention, something has to be done. So with the Greenhack Turner Community Center coming online, assuming bring 25,000 people to this community, I think it need attention, that intersection definitely need attention.
Jerry's house or one other.
Michael, when is that intersection at all been slated for?
And as part of the TIF2 Schofield Ave corridor plan, it was identified as an area that needed improvement. The project ended up getting removed from the TIF2 plan as it wasn't a project solely on Schofield Avenue. So that was in 2021, I do believe. So I'd say we definitely should bring it back and look at it. I can do that in February. I guess since this one isn't technically on the agenda, we
We have to put it on the agenda for next
would
month.
bring it back in February.
Is
Yeah.
there room for a roundabout?
We could probably do a smaller one like we are looking at for Weston and Alderson Street. It should essentially be the exact same geometry as what we have there with 66-foot right of ways. And on the northwest corner is the Kennedy Park area, and that corner right there isn't really used much as the creek flows through just a little past that. So I'm
I
guessing,
wasn't sure that's a wetlands or you're stuck where you got room to push that way.
I think we could push it that way. I think that's all considered upland at the moment.
I think we should take a look at the Ross Avenue and also Metro Drive.
Well, that one's in the works for 2027. That's part of the joint project with
I
Schofield.
think we should take a look at that roundabout.
Oh, and like that, size like that, putting it, okay.
Because
Yeah.
that take a lot of traffic.
Yeah, I guess the first point of order would then be to get probably a intersection study done on that with,
Yeah, even in the morning or in the afternoon when school's coming in or going out, like
Yeah.
getting through there is kind of a nightmare.
Yep.
And that's just, you know, if they're not having like a big thing.
Right.
So we'll put it on the schedule for next month.
Bring on the agenda, please.
Sure.
And also bring, yes, please, and also bring all your, includes all your documentation, but
sure, I can grab.
Mr. Maloney,
So when you talk about a study, which intersection, Alderson and,
Jelnik,
okay, so how much does the study cost?
probably less than 10,000.
Okay, so $10,000. Will it give us, will it tell us what to put there? Or just that we need one?
It would look at how the intersection's currently functioning and what the recommendation would be to improve it.
I mean, I think we all agree that it should be done.
Yeah, or if we just wanted to say we want to put a roundabout there, for example.
Right.
Then we could bypass the study and just get into design.
Is that what everybody's thinking?
well,
No.
what the study gonna tell us is not the design, it just give us the idea,
That we need it, that we need something.
correct? What are we talking about? We need a roundabout, or we want a stop sign, or we wanna, already has a stop sign,
Currently,
but
it's a four-way stop.
Correct.
And so the 10,000, what would be the, when they engineer, you know, when they draw it up, how much is that?
Actual design,
Just ballpark.
probably somewhere around 50,000 if it's solely just the intersection.
20%.
Yeah.
So we'd be saving ourselves 20%. Just a thought from the audience.
I think it's a good thought. I don't know if there's anything against a roundabout.
What about the roundabout that's on, that we're looking to put on the other side of Alderson up on Weston?
Yeah,
Isn't that the same, roughly
Weston.
the same size?
it'd be similar, yeah. So I guess, yeah, that. I guess that'd be what I would say is we should maybe just talk to MSA about what it would take for them to almost mirror that same type of design on the north side. As I said, we're not on the agenda, so I'm trying to figure out what I should or shouldn't say.
but you gotta bear in mind, the traffic at that intersection is much higher than the traffic.
Correct, yeah, so they should still probably do a little bit of
So,
some kind of traffic count just to verify that what they would put in would work. Or if it needed to be bigger, like
if we wanna go to the engineer, maybe we should ask him, give us a 2-option or 3-option.
yeah,
And the reason why he's recommending those options, then we can make a decision on it.
correct, yeah.
Right.
Caveat that we exclude green paint.
We don't need anything option.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because other than that, we gotta tell them, okay, you gotta do this.
Mhm.
And we can't do that unless we have something in front of us.
Yeah,
Okay,
and I agree,
Michael?
I think your suggestion is, yeah, it's money well saved. I don't think we're gonna decide that intersection doesn't need it as much as the one right down the block.
Well, then we're also that much far behind too.
Yeah, and it's usually just it's usually a grant requirement that you have an engineering study done so you can justify why that improvement is needed. But if we're not seeking grant funds, then
How much does that grant fund usually cover?
Wait a minute.
Yeah, hold on, how likely are we to get it and how much?
well, it depends how quickly. The next grant cycle would be in probably 2026. So at that point,
That's too long.
I mean, if we wanted to look at building it in 2025, unless the DOT comes out with some special money this year.
Well, and you've got to time that one too, right? I mean, you can't build it in spring or fall,
Yeah,
that's for sure. It's got to be built in between June 10th and fill in the blank, right?
yeah. But it's still a busy park area and church service on Sundays. And
I'm sure the church has a problem. I heard they had a complaint about it too, but. So, okay, and you could bring us, also prepare the proposal.
Sure. Okay.
Just real quick, you can also check, you go up towards the school, up by Mount Olive. The first left, what is that street?
Park Ridge.
Park Ridge, we get calls from the residents there because the kids are cheating. And they run through there and they really fly through the neighborhood. They don't want to go down and wait for that. That's the intersection. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
just a thought.
Yep. I may have cut through there at one point in my life.
You got it. You got your-
All right. Any other question on that issue?
So what's the plan then?
Louis? You have any question on that?
I have no questions.
Okay. What he's gonna do, he's gonna bring us the proposal and also all the document he has for that intersection with regard to the tip. And then also have it on the agenda for discussion. Unless you need something additional, please.
No, I mean, because the engineer is gonna do what they have to do once we put that out.
Okay, thank you. Item 5. Approval of 12/11/23 Public Work and Utility Committee meeting.
Move to approve.
There's
I'll second.
discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I have it. Thank you. Staff report CIP update. Michael?
Yeah. Haven't had a whole lot construction wise since last meeting in December. Did have a couple design review meetings with Clark Dietz for the East Jelnik and Von Kennel project, as well as the Jelnik resurfacing in front of the junior high, senior high. We did have a DOT meeting with the city of Schofield regarding the Ross Avenue Metro to Alderson redo. And I guess also talked with Becker Hoppy and some of the Fuller Street future design impacts. So I think I have that one later on too in more detail, so. And I got the RFP out for the Riverbend to Paul's reconstruction on Ross Avenue, so we should have those at the February meeting as well to review for awarding design on that project.
Construction Ross Avenue from where to where?
Riverbend to Paul's, so we.
Okay, my question on that one, is that all in the town of Weston or is part in the village?
It's both,
So
so,
the what,
The
50/50?
first part's
It's-
gotta be in the village, right?
yeah, so the first stretch, the south part's all in the village, and the north part is the first, probably half of the north, so of that stretch, we probably have about 3/4 of the road. And then as you head north, right away, both sides of the road are currently in the town. And then once you hit Mock Miller Park, it's half town, half village, so.
So how are we gonna establish our cost sharing?
Yeah, so we also have an agreement with the town that'll need to get approved, but it's based on frontage. You know, it's the same way we handle anything with Rothschild or Schofield. You know, if we have, say, a mile of roadway and they have a mile of roadway, we split it 50/50, but if it's 0.3 and 0.67, it's 1/3, 2/3, so.
I just wanna make sure we agree on everything
Yeah.
for a cost before we go to design or construction.
Yeah, and you know, since it's our utilities, any water sewer design would be 100%. The villages, you know, the town wouldn't pay for that, so.
Are we gonna run for that new subdivision then?
Yeah, so
Sewer and
the
water
plan would be to loop the water main
from backside?
from Riverbend around to Mock Miller or Mock Miller Park or Quentin Street.
Mhm.
And then also extend sanitary sewer, so it'd be serviceable.
Left station?
We should be able to get it with gravity feed. There is a stub coming off of Quentin Street back towards like Mackenzie that goes towards the north part of Mock Miller Park. And that was installed as a stub initially so that it would serve kind of the Christensen pit area in the future. So, it'd be easier if I had a map of that. I could explain it better.
No.
I can do that right now quick. QRS. So this is the Mock Miller Park area. This is Quentin Street, that kind of zigzags up here. So this red dotted line is where a future sanitary sewer was kind of planned when the Sandy Meadow subdivision went in. So there's a manhole that currently exists in the backyard of these two houses that we would look to tie into. And that would be able to provide gravity service then for the any future lands to the east and heading south.
So where is the detention basin?
It's this,
The red rock mark?
the red would be a future sanitary sewer line. This,
No. Yeah, okay.
this hashed mark is where that kind of sunken infiltration basin is.
So in the description, you said he's gonna have composting material plus on-site soil to fill the area, to build a base for it?
Oh,
What is the
that's
compost?
for the other subdivision.
So it's not for this one?
No, sorry, I thought you were talking, so this would be for a future, if the Paul's farm over on the east side of Kramer were to ever annex into the village,
Oh, okay.
it'd be set up for sewer service over there.
Okay,
The other one that we can get to when we get to that agenda item.
yeah. All right. Any question? Anything else, Michael?
No, that's probably a good run through there.
Okay. Item 7, street operation update.
Well, looks like tonight into tomorrow, we're gonna get our first big snowfall other than Halloween.
So how much we gonna get?
5 inches is what National Weather Service is forecasting at 4 o'clock for here. 20-mile-an-hour plus winds, and then they're supposed to die off, and then another 1.5 inches Thursday night. Thursday later, they're talking. So, so far, between December and January, we've been working on trimming trees, got the mini excavator out, brushing around some of the retention ponds. We try to get to those every year, 2 years at the most. We've got more to go. If we don't get a foot or two of snow, we keep on going on that. We've been working on inside the shop here. We're finally finding the time to get some of the stuff done that we just never could get done before because we've been too busy. In the wash bay, put some clips on where we can hang things and just all the odds and ends that you really want to get done, you know, so it's serviceable. The brine maker we bought when we lived at the old building yet, we got that, the guys hooked that up, got it running. So we do not have to go to Marathon County Highway Department and buy salt brine anymore. We make our own here. Got them a hydrometer, hooked it up. It's a Veritech salt maker. We had them at brine maker. We had them at the county. It's an older unit. We came out of Dunn County. I talked to them. They upgraded and they bought one of the big fancy ones where you can mix salt brine and mag chloride and beet juice together. We're just running straight salt brine. That's all we really need. We don't have to get too extravagant. So we pre-wet the salt. All 6 of the patrol trucks have pre-wet units on them, all computerized. So now we have our own salt brine. It'll be nice. So that'll save us some money and time having to run up to Marathon County and get it. It's mostly been brushing work and stuff like that. A lot of woody vegetation work and odds and ends, different things that have come along. That's what we've been up to. So we'll see what Mother Nature brings us for the winter. We're still got more of that stuff to do yet. There's minor outfalls. There's, I forget how many of those, there's some work that needs to be done on too, where there's culvert ends basically on the end of where a drainage light ends and there's a culvert that needs to be brushed around, different things that need to be done. We'll keep going with that. That kind of, we'll see what Mother Nature throws at us, I guess. And kind of, we schedule our work around everything like that, just like anybody that's working outside. So, I didn't have this on the agenda, but, or on my report. Sue's Ginseng bought, we had 4,480 cubic yards of leaves pickup from this fall. They bought everything for $1 a yard. So between them and Randy Warden purchased about $8,000 worth of compost that we had extra. So in 2023, we made about 12 grand just selling that stuff, which was kind of nice. You know, it's a return on our investment. At least it's better than giving it away. So there's a value to it. Then in the, well, one thing too, Shane, we got at the trees over here last week.
Oh, you did?
Yep.
Good, thank you.
Yep, we didn't clear right up to that duplex there. Like I said, I talked to the woman that lives there and she asked for a little
Sure,
buffer.
that's fine.
But we took all the leaners out and they took some of the old thin jack pines that are gonna die anyhow and kind of cleaned that up. So it's kind of halfway decent. We do have to go this spring. I talked with her, and on the back side of their duplex, originally when this building was built, they had silt fence up on the south side of our fence that's there. She asked if we could, when they pulled the silt fence, nothing happened where it got restored, so they could mow it. She asked if we could do that in the spring, so we're gonna do that. And so that way, when they mow their yard, they can get right up to the fence on their side, even though it's our few feet of land there, so. And then in the report, what I did is I took, if you look at page 3 there, what I did is I just broke down off the whole year. I have a spreadsheet that every time I enter time, like today, I did last week's time, everything goes on a big spreadsheet, all the equipment, all the material. And I just took that and sorted it out and just threw some numbers at things. So it would kind of give you kind of an idea of where our hours were. It doesn't capture everything right down to the penny, but it's a pretty good rough idea of where we spend our time in a year. So if you look at it, you know, I didn't sort it by numbers, but equipment maintenance in the shop has 4,270 hours. Part of the reason why that's high is because when we moved into this building, a lot of the stuff that we did with the move, we just charged it to the shop because I wanted to keep it in one spot. I'm expecting those numbers will drop somewhat as we come into 2024. The surface maintenance covers everything from patching potholes to all the odds and ends stuff, shouldering, everything that's done with the road, asphalt repairs, stuff like that goes under surface. Road construction is when we do like a construction project. Like when we did East Nick, we cut that down that half mile and rebuilt that piece of road. That would have went in 2022 under road construction. The roadside maintenance and mowing, that's anything that we do with either, we call it the lizard, that's mowing like along Schofield Avenue, or when we take the John Deere boom tractor out and mow the right of ways out in the country more, we mow them wider with that, with the boom on it, and then we use it for cutting brush too, then keep the brush down. The street sweeping, that's just a given. That's anything we're doing with the street sweeper. And in the spring, we'll take a loader with a big power broom on the front. Rather than having to run the street sweeper up and down from the center line, we'll take and broom it easy, hopefully on wet days, kind of kick it out in a windrow to the outside, and then they take the vacuum sweeper and sweep. The sign shop and pavement marking, that's everything John Yonker does with help when it comes to repairing signs, installing signs. We bought the that walk behind Graco sprayer this last year, so he's been starting to get, we're gonna hopefully get caught up on restriping our crosswalks, anything that's special stuff like that, special markings, arrows, on a roundabout, the little yield triangles, that kind of stuff, that all falls under that. Then, like I said, equipment maintenance is the shop. That's everything that goes on in a shop. That includes cleaning the shop. You know, our staff takes care of that. We do that. We get a rainy day or whatever, you know, all of a sudden it's getting pretty grubby. We got to clean it, and everybody gets together and we take care of it. Then winter maintenance, that was everything in 2023 calendar year that we did to when it came to plowing, salting, hauling snow, anything like that goes under winter maintenance. You'll see the overtime hours for winter maintenance is right below it. And then the last one on there on that top list is the winter equipment maintenance in the shop. So that's like when they go out, they were out over the weekend. Today they'll take and they go through the trucks, clean them somewhat because we were going to reload for tonight into tomorrow. But that's when it comes to maintaining that winter equipment. Then as you scroll down, you'll see the hours that we stuck into Ryan Street. The yard waste, they nicknames the stump dump. So anytime we got to go and push up brush, push up leaves and that kind of stuff, or haul the leaves down below and put them in rows for compost, or roll the rows of compost. We currently have, I think it's either 3 or 4 150-foot long rows that are probably 10 feet high, 8 feet high, something like that to a peak. we take a thermometer and we have to take temperatures on them once a month, and then we'll roll those rolls over to, that's what the DNR wants. So it gets some air in there and it keeps breaking down, and we have to keep records of the temperature. Because if you're gonna use compost, they wanna see it get up to 130 degrees in the middle of that compost. That kills off the bad bacteria. And then the hard materials handling there would be anything when it comes to stockpiling things at Ryan Street. All of our gravel, sand, stuff like that. If we get sand hauled in, we gotta push it up. That's what it kind of comes out of that fund. And then the stormwater drainage, that's anything to do with stormwater. Like now, even when they're out brushing with the mini excavator around these retention ponds, that gets charged to stormwater drainage. Anything with curb, inlets, catch basins, storm sewer, that's all goes underneath there. When we did asphalt overlays over off of Birch Street on Leyburn and all those streets this last year, when we raised the manholes for the storm sewer, that 1.5 inches for the overlay, that gets charged to stormwater. Same thing with the water main work. A lot of that has to do with overlay work when we have to raise the water valves up, or sometimes we help out if there's a water main break or something like that with the utility department, that gets charged to water mains. Same with the sewer, that's kind of the same thing. So if you look at the two, the water mains and the sewer manholes, a lot of that was probably had to do with asphalt overlay work. It takes a bit to raise a manhole casting. You have to saw the blacktop, pull the casting out, raise it up, pave it back in again, and then they'll come and do their overlay. And then
So
parks
what do you
maintenance.
use, excuse me, what do you use for those rings? Use a plastic one or concrete?
No, we're using the Ladtex. They're not they're a plastic. They're HDPE. We get them from right over here at Brick and Supply or whatever they're called nowadays, White Cap. That's what we're using on those.
Okay,
On all the storm sewer inlets, anything, manholes, the rectangular storm sewer inlets, we have the same thing. That's what we use. And then parks maintenance was anything we help the parks out with. Sometimes they're taking trees down. We grind stumps in the spring. If they had took trees down, we'll rent a stump grinder, put it on that newer skid steer we've got, and we'll go out and grind their stumps or whatever we've got. And then the last is the township work that we do for the town of Weston. So the 189 hours, that covers everything from patching to milk calls up and they need something done. We go do it, sign work for them, different things. So it kind of gives you a snapshot of what 2023 looked like and the hours that went into everything that I have recorded. So.
How is the,
go ahead.
how's the, we had problems last year with people illegal dumping over in, Ryan, is that getting better? Is that?
They're not out on the streets so much anymore. I was just up at Ryan Street today and I see somebody drop 3 tires off up there. Everest Metro's helped a lot at Ryan Street because they've been coming through there. And I think the word's gotten out where people aren't doing that as much as they used to anymore. So the dumpster's still a little bit of a problem, but for the winter, we pulled out trail cams down and someday if we get power out there, it'd really be nice to have a video camera. Then you could get them because it's kind of a pain having Randy lifts me up in the loader bucket to the telephone pole and I pull the chips out of it, put different ones in the trail cam. But then when you get, 600 pictures, but it's helped. I've sent them to the Everest Metro. Sometimes you'll snag somebody.
Is that something that's worth looking at from a cost standpoint?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of the cost benefit. I mean, if we're spending $3,000-4,000 in extra garbage, or we have to spend, a couple $100,000 to get power extended.
I think the word gets out, and that's the main thing. Once the word gets out, it'll curb most of them. You never stop everybody, but they pinched a few contractors, and then the word gets out, and people kind of, if they're just bringing a little bit of brush here and there, it's not a big deal. It's when they come and dump a load of slop, or it's more. What gets you the maddest is when they take and throw something in the middle of the pile, and then you got to pull the pile apart to get it out. Somebody dumps something on it, and that's when it's a pain. It's kind of derogatory. The guys, it makes them crazy. Makes me nuts too. But for the most part, I think just having the trail cams up is helpful. Tushane, did you have a question?
I was wondering, there's no total in there. Any reason for that or
Total
of the total cost for all these, each section you have there?
I can total it and send it to you if you want.
It would be nice to see it. What's the total cost for each part you have in there?
I guess, yeah, I would like to see, well, what I'd probably do is ask Jessica for a report from finance. That would be to the penny. You know what I mean? In case Because what I do is I enter the time electronically. The guys have their hourly into our software. That calculates their paychecks. Everything else I do, because one thing you gotta remember on this, the equipment is factored into here.
Right.
And the equipment rates, I just updated them again, come off the Wisconsin DOT website. So those are the numbers I'm using. She wouldn't have that. She would have the labor expense. I could pull the other stuff, but just if you want a total, I can run it.
Sure. No, they use DOT, why not Marathon County?
That's what Marathon County uses.
Use the same thing.
And the way it's generated is all 72 counties in the state sign a routine maintenance agreement with the DOT. Every piece of equipment they work on or buy, when they buy it, you can depreciate it out. They've got a schedule for depreciation. Everything that goes into that piece of equipment, they have to track. Fuel, tires, labor for parts, the mechanics labor. Each of the 72 counties sends that to the state. And they have classifications for all the different pieces of equipment, and that's how they develop the rates, and that's what they reimburse the county for. So it's the same thing that the county's getting reimbursed for. If they have a quad axle dump truck, the rate right now is $61.64 an hour for that piece of equipment. And so when at the county, that's what it was. The guys would fill out their timesheets. That all gets entered into the system. And then they send a bill every month to the DOT, and the DOT reimburses them on those rates.
Does that include benefit also?
No, that's just for the equipment.
Equipment and the wage. Part of the wage is the benefit also?
No, wages, no, this, for the DOT is just strictly the equipment rates.
Okay,
That's how that works with that. The wages I would get from Jessica. If we wanted just strictly a labor one by that, I'd probably just pull it from her, because that would be the most accurate in case I made a little you know what I mean? I'm entering this all manually on a spreadsheet, so. But I do put the guys' hours, regular time, overtime, and it's gross wages with the benefits included. So what you see going into this is the gross, what it costs the village of Weston for labor with your health insurance and everything else.
great.
The only thing the county gets out of it, the state lets them put a 4.5% administration charge on their stuff that pays for the office help, the copy machines, and all the other stuff. And then they add another 1% on it for what they call field tools, which is your chainsaws, all your real small stuff. They don't have an hourly rate for that real small stuff. They just add a 1% charge off the gross, and that's what the county gets back off the equipment. So if you send them a bill for $100,000 at the end of the month, they'll throw 1% on that and reimburse them for that to cover the chainsaws and the small stuff.
Yeah, okay. Other question?
No, thank you, Dan.
Lewis, question? Shaking your head, I can see that.
No,
Thank you. Thank you, Dan. Utility operation update, you're gonna take care of that, Michael?
Sure, Josh is homesick today, so I guess listed kind of just the general pump maintenance, some of the chemical feed pumps. We had some meter cleaning repairs over at Cary. Some manganese backup or buildup in those, and got quite a bit of our large lift stations taken care of with the warmer weather. So good opportunity there. The SCADA project, fiber is more or less ran as far as the conduit, and they're getting the cabling pulled on that one. And PJ Corton should be getting pretty close to reprogramming all of our lifts, or programming the lift stations for the SCADA network, and then getting the water systems on the new SCADA as well. They indicate to have that done by mid-March, so which is ahead of schedule, but we'll take it. I don't know, not a whole lot. There's maybe Elsa in here that's
Okay.
real eye-opening. And then he did add a few more of the SOPs for some of the various items here. So
We did briefly talk about well 7 and 8 go up, we'd like to do like a little thing out there,
Correct, yeah.
so. When they're ready, we can give you more information, but it would be nice for the committee and then the Board of Trustees to just recognize that.
Sure, sure. Okay, and here you have that the standard operating procedure. So we wait for Josh to come back.
Yeah, I guess they're just adding in there. I know trustee Hardinger asked that those just kind of be noted monthly here as we get more added in, so
That look good.
just wanted to keep everybody up to date that we're getting those taken care of.
So I think what he has here is pretty good.
Yeah, no, it looks good, yeah.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
Policy discussion and recommendation, item 9. Well, 3 iron and manganese pilot testing.
So as part of the PFAS treatment system for wells 3 and 4, when we submitted our safe drinking water loan application to the DNR, they had asked that we separate out wells 3 and 4 due to the fact that well 3 needs iron and manganese removal prior to PFAS treatment. And they're requiring that we have a pilot test done to show that the system we'd be putting in place would adequately remove the iron and manganese from the water prior to the PFAS treatment. So the first step would be getting that pilot study done. We have a proposal from Water Surplus, which is the same company that we currently are leasing the temporary PFAS treatment system from. I'm talking with AECOM. There's a proposal from Water Surplus was less than what AECOM would be able to give us for a proposal for pilot testing. And they'll take care of all the DNR reporting and submittals as part of that. So I guess I'd recommend we move forward with the pilot testing for well 3 from Water Surplus for the $12,500.
I see in his contract, he explains his insurance and everything else in there. But I think he should give us a certificate of insurance with the name of the village in there as a part of that insurance also.
Yeah, and we always ask for that before they come on site.
Okay,
Do you have to be additional insured or just a certificate of insurance?
Yeah, usually we ask to be named on the certificate. That's the,
But named as a certificate holder or named as additional insured?
as additional.
additional
insurance,
insured.
Okay,
Not certificate.
okay,
holder.
yeah, okay, that's what I wanted to clarify. Yeah, because one means everything and the other means very little.
Yeah, no, we get added on there.
Yep, okay.
I think we should be there because it
Oh, yeah,
just protect us.
yeah, that saves you from being sued by somebody who's not your employee getting hurt.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Okay, what's your wishes?
I would move to recommend the village board approve the contract with Water Surplus for an iron and manganese removal pilot study for well 3 for $12,500. Department of Natural Resources for the
Oh.
PFAS treatment project.
I probably did delete that. Yeah, you can.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we need to include that, right?
One second,
Is there a second?
one second.
Discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? I have it, thank you.
When would this likely go in then? Or when would we- I mean, obviously they've got to come back and then send it out for bid, like you have a year.
So well 4, we should have out for bid later this month. I believe we're looking at was it a week of February 24th bid opening. So yeah, so that'll go out for bid. So they can start installing the granular activated carbon tanks, and while then we get well 3's kind of final design taken care of through the DNR. So in 2024 here, we'll resubmit well 3 for the safe drinking water loan. So it'll stagger by a year, but we got as much as we can into the well 4 design so that really the well 3 work is just the iron manganese removal. And it also helps maximize the principal forgiveness we got for the PFAS treatment. So the 3.14 million that we got is still usable. So that answered the question.
Okay. Item 10, East Jellic Avenue and Von Cannon Street reconstruction. 60% plan design discussion.
Yep, so as I mentioned, we had a couple meetings with our Clark Dietz this fall. Plans are at the 60% phase, so just wanted to get I guess concurrence from the committee that, you know, we're good with where we're at, and we can get these then into final design. So these are kind of the typical roadway sections we're looking at. So from Von Kennel to, or X to Von Kennel, we would have a multi-use path, generally on the south side. I think it's all on the south side of the roadway. A swale, try and blow this up so you can see a little better. Kind of a 9-foot ditch would use the same flat concrete shoulder that we have over in the Crestwood Acres neighborhood. We have 2 10-foot travel lanes, a 4-foot bike lane for westbound traffic, and then a 2-foot shoulder, and then a swale on that on the north side matching into the existing right of way. And then on East Jellic, east of Von Kennel to Mesker, the multi-use path goes away, and we have, I guess, wider pavement, 14-foot lanes. You know, that'd be striped as 2 10-foot lanes with then a 4-foot, I guess, bike lane or paved shoulder, and the concrete shoulder, and then ditches are matching into the adjacent property. And should have noted on here, this is the same that would be used on Von Kennel. The multi-use path is proposed on the west side, and otherwise it'd be the same configuration on Von Kennel. So still using ditches, the flat concrete shoulder. And so that's currently what's in the plans.
That's a 60%.
That's at 60%. Yeah.
Okay, did you do drilling at the intersection of Von Kennel and Jellic?
Soil borings were done. What was that, last month? When
I
did they?
just want to know where was the rock?
I'm still waiting on the report from AET, but the drilling was done, so
We can send the boring out, we can read it,
yeah.
that's okay. I think we should know that.
Yep.
And then the other thing is, it's showing 3% slope on the road, why?
We use a
2%.
we use a 3%. It's kind of been a village standard as far as I've been here. I was always told use 3%. It over time, when the road settles, a 3% will still settle to like a 1.5, so you still get good positive drainage. Whereas the 2% roads seem to have, they can tend to get inverted.
You assume it's gonna settle uniform. It's not happening.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that was a Don Smith, you know, Keith continued it as far as I can tell, our as-builts were 3% cross slopes.
Usually a street recommendation is 2%.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
3% is kind of unusual.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, sir.
So just help me out here. So it's a 3 or 2%. And you're saying over time it settles to 1.5 or 1. So only the center settles, not the sides?
Generally speaking, the center tends to settle, and
Why
the
would-
curb won't settle.
Why?
I don't know, it's like in wheel ruts and traffic as it drives over it.
It's the loading of the road,
Yeah,
especially trucks, semis with duals.
They kind of routed the
That
road.
doesn't make sense to me, but I guess, yeah. I would think the whole thing would settle, not just, you know, the sides, I guess, or wait. Yeah, but if you're saying load weights, that'd be off to the sides, but you're saying the middle goes down.
Well, if you just go look at a road that, like we used to lane wedge on the county, you know,
Well, I'm just looking at that, there's a cut section right there.
yeah,
I just, to Hushain's point, if it's 2 inches or 2%, you would think it would just stay 2%. We went to 3 because it settles to 1
Yeah.
and 1
We've used 3% on every street that we've redone since I've been here and before me. The DOT standard is 2%, and that's usually one thing we have to call out or ask for an exception on when we have a DOT grant. I can only think of one where they didn't let us use, Northwestern, they didn't let us use a 3%, that had to be a 2%.
The other thing you gotta think about is the frost. Your frost in your roadway where it's paired up, you know, you get a really bad winter, it'll go down almost to 5 feet. So the more your frost moves up, it's like creep on something. If you ever see a piece of concrete approach on a house, move away from it, you'll see the crack grows. Same thing, it's from the frost action. You go down Tennessee, you don't have to worry about it, but up here, it'll eventually walk itself away. But I believe part of it is due to the frost, because you get so much more, so it's moving more. We were down on Kellyland today, looking at what we're gonna be doing this year for storm sewer. Every one of them streets is like this or like that. Granted, they're from the 80s, but
Yeah, I mean, you
The
know,
80s is when Don Smith was here. So you're putting all your money on Don Smith. I would come up with some different verbiage than say
Yeah.
that's the way it's always been. Or
But-
it's been.
I mean, well, so if it's inverted now, if it was even if it would have been a lesser slope, it would have been even more inverted, I guess would be the other argument.
Usually
go up
that-
on Hawthorne once and see that.
Excuse me, usually that slope doesn't take care of the routing because the semi truck developed that routing in there. And the slope has nothing to do with that.
It's still, if you get a little bit of settlement, it can still get you some cross slope.
Mhm.
If you prefer, we don't use 3%, that's fine.
Well, I mean,
It's
that
not
is
a hill I'm gonna die on.
reasonable reason to
No,
make sure, you know.
I'm sorry I brought it up.
that's fine.
It's an educational experience.
I mean, you don't really notice it. I mean, it's, you know, this much difference over 14 feet for a travel lane, so.
And then you're throwing this roundabout in here, yes.
So that's a question. So those are questions that I'm asking at that. So one thing that's come up is, in the past, we've had residents, talk about speeding on East Jelnik and how it's used as a cut through, for people that don't want to go through the Schofield Ave, County Road X intersection. So right now, we currently are leaving it as is. It's stop controlled on Von Kennel and through traffic on East Jelnik. You know, do we want to do something different? I guess is a question. Do we want to reverse it so traffic on East Jelnik has to stop and Von Kennel is free flowing? You know, I drew this in there. Do we want to add a traffic circle? You know, it'd be a way to slow traffic from all directions. It could be fully mountable to drive over, or it could have a full head of curb in the middle, so it needs to be driven around. I guess that's kind of just a center placement. So this would be a version of one that you can drive over, but you still, you know, generally you would have it signed and marked as going around. Here's an example of one that's raised where you go around it.
Do we have it in the village now?
There's actually one in the Tower Ridge subdivision, kind of right behind here. Yeah.
And for some great YouTube videos.
Yeah,
There's actually one, you know, where our
correct, yeah.
People hit those.
Yeah, how's the one at Barbican?
That's a full roundabout.
Streets of West.
So I guess that was just some questions. Other idea would be to put in some speed tables or
Do you
speed
have
humps.
information like traffic counts or anything? I'm just trying to compare. this
Yeah,
to
so
other roadways or how, you know, at what level do you?
yes, it's roughly what are we at? About 600 vehicles a day. So it's not a high number. It's not a huge number.
I was surprised. I'll be honest, my impression when I read this, I thought, I guess I don't drive that a lot.
Yeah.
I did for a few weeks when they had Camp Phillips tore up and I had to
Yeah.
get through that way. And of course, then the traffic was crazy because everybody had to take it, but
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. My first thought was I didn't realize there was that much traffic on.
yeah.
Michael, quick question.
Go ahead.
I know every year they put the speed trailer on East Jelinek, kind of by the electrical, I don't even know what you call it, but
The substation
Kind of-
up there.
yeah, kind of up on the hill there. Do we get any data as far as like the average speed or high speeds or anything like that from that trailer that could help us? Because
Yeah,
I mean, as somebody who lives one house off of East Jelinek, I can attest to the fact that vehicles go pretty fast through there, and there's also a lot of truck traffic, which isn't supposed to be on the road, but that's kind of another issue. I'm just curious if there's any definitive data about speed.
Yeah, the 85th percentile speed was about 37 miles per hour. So 12 over the speed limit, I guess, in that area.
I think.
Thank you.
Go ahead, go ahead. Are you done?
No, I was just saying thank you. I'm done.
Okay. The traffic in the morning is higher. At least I had my office at that end, on the east end of it. Everybody take a right turn from Camp Phillips. In the afternoon, they don't go that way. They go to Schofield, use the stop light. Because it's harder in the afternoon to take a left turn in there.
Yeah, taking a left off of Jelinek, I can't Phillips in the afternoon.
That's what I was gonna say, more often than not, I take a left onto Von Cannell and head down to the Barbican intersection, because it's almost impossible to make a left-hand turn on the Camp Phillips.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
Jelinek.
A lot of people do that, yes. Is that your question?
My other question was, do we have data as far as the complaints on that stretch of road? Because the last time I talked to Chief Schultz, I thought it was resident and not residents.
No, it's just, in fact, who brought up the speed trailer? Louis?
Yeah.
So the speed trailer, whatever you wanna call it, was put in a spot because a resident that lives near there, very close to that spot, was on the police commission for 1 year. And so it was put there several years in a row because that's what they wanted. And I don't believe that's there the last couple of years. I don't think so, Louis. It could be.
I haven't seen it.
But and then as far as the biggest amount of cheating I see there is people going Mesker, hanging a right and flying down there to try to cut off that Schofield and X. I tried all the time. And every time I get there, the car I was trying to beat is now going up to the highway and kick me really hard. So
Yeah.
I just learned to not do that anymore, or I cut through Crestwood really fast. I'm just kidding.
I just have a feeling with this road, I think the only thing that keeps people slower right now is the condition of the road itself is pretty bumpy in the narrow shoulders. And if we improve it to the way that it's going to be even a bigger problem if we don't make some kind of an effort to slow traffic as you approach Von Kennel.
Right.
I think if we should have a speed bump, and if you're gonna go with the speed bump, we should make it not the long distance from each other, because people speed between two of them. Put them close to each other as much possible, so to decrease their speed, especially where that lady is complaining in that area. So, and you go fast over those speed bump, you feel it.
But aren't those a stinker to plow? Why don't you just put a four-way stop at Von Kennel, or switch the direction? That Von Kennel can go straight through and then.
Yeah, so like this one's a picture of a removable one. So there's communities that do that. They put it down, spring through fall, and then they pull it out for winter, so it's not a plowing hazard, and then you put it back down in the spring. I got a rough quote of about 7,500 for one that would fit on the proposed roadway layout. So if that's something we wanted to do, that could either be done right away or after the fact if it does seem to be an issue. The stop signs we can put in, then it's, hopefully people are following them, right?
I've gone over a couple of those in Florida and I usually get there.
Yeah.
That scared me.
Goes back to the comments you made.
I said there's all kinds of YouTube videos of people going over those things.
Well, I think we should go back to the original layout here or original cross-section and see if this is acceptable to the committees, so we can make a recommendation on this. Because that's the purpose of Michael bringing those issues.
Yeah, and then I guess just, do we want to investigate some of the traffic calming measures more, or do we put it in and, I guess see if issues persist. I mean, we can get, a permanent, solar powered, radar sign. Installed, so it's not a speed trailer. We can put in the temporary speed cushions. A lot of these things, whether we do it right on day one or, a year after the fact, it's probably about the same cost, so. But,
Well, I think if you talk to the two captains too, I think you would get more attention now. If they would, park some cars there, just give that road some attention.
yeah,
I know in the past, speeding tickets weren't a real big priority. But that's pretty wild right there.
yeah, especially, that whole section from Kirk Street over to Von Kennel, you got the backside of the mobile home park and the WPS substation and really nothing else there, so it doesn't feel like a 25-mile-an-hour road. It feels like a rural road that you can go on.
I'll fully admit I'm guilty of it.
Yeah.
Traversed that road myself.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one to
So,
say.
Michael, you have a riding right out at the intersection of Jelnik and Camp Phillips, correct?
Right now, it's a full intersection. I guess we could add a signage if we wanted to limit left turns during certain times
I
or,
think we should.
Yeah.
That improve the safety and also improve the traffic. Let's do that. And then, you gentlemen agree with these cross sections?
You're saying no left turn off Camp Phillips to Jungler?
Correct.
Yeah, I agree. You can't, I don't think if people, it's nigh on impossible.
It depends what time of the day. you're there.
Wait, depending on time.
So,
Yeah.
yes,
Are you saying a left turn off of Camp Phillips onto Jelinek or a left turn off of Jelinek onto Camp Phillips?
when you go to from Jelnik, you're going to Camp Phillips, is only right, they
Okay,
say.
'cause the way that you just stated it.
You're right, I
was
said
the
it
other way.
backwards, yeah.
That's why I was asking.
No, is it right in, right out?
Okay.
So if you're going north on Camp Phillips, you can turning right. And when you're getting out of the Jelnik, you're turning right again. That's it, right in, right out. Okay, you agree with it, this two type of cross section they're proposing, actually three. I'm
Yeah.
confused why you have the third one.
well, the third one is Von Kennel. I did have it on the next page. I forgot I put it there. So, it's pretty much the same as the East Jelnik, just that the multi-use path is on the other side because it's on the west side of the road on Von Kennel.
Okay. I think, I'm sure you had some other comment for this to the design engineer or,
Yeah, I mean, I'll get back to them with any thing there, but if we're not looking to put a permanent speed tables or traffic circles, that's fine.
well, we haven't got there.
Okay,
We haven't got there.
sure. Okay,
Give me time, please.
Yep.
Let's approve the intersection, the cross section first.
sure.
I'm fine with the cross section the way that it's laid out.
I think so. It makes sense. Although I thought when you said 10 feet road, and I look at it, then you had 4 feet for bicycle path. And I think we went to 12 feet road because of the snow plow. The snow plow is 12 feet, am I correct?
The plows are 12, but on the angle, they're probably running 11.
Yep.
Less of that.
I think that's one reason they increased the width of the road to 12 feet.
Yeah, without the full head curb though, the plow will go over the shoulder.
Yeah.
So that's,
Yeah. So I think it looked good, the way they lay it out, the way they designed this. That's better.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with it. I mean, we're just gonna come back to the intersection at a later time, though. We're just proving the cross section.
Yes, a cross section. We're gonna come back to the intersection. Yes,
I'm good with that.
okay. And we agree the cross section is fine.
Okay.
Unless you see a detail in there, we don't see it. I'll look it
no,
over them.
yeah, I worked out the other
Okay,
5 iterations, so this was the one I was good with, so.
all right. Now the cross section, Why they didn't put this circle at the center of the intersection? There's
that,
no center in there.
that intersection is actually offset to the east. Because of the multi-use path on the west side and wetlands on the east side. So Von Kennel Street gets slightly off center of right of way.
Okay.
So,
You bump to the east.
yeah, so the circle in that intersection is actually in the center, but yeah, so the roadway will shift east slightly. Just to not disturb wetlands on west side of the road, and then there's some power poles and other things that we're looking to avoid.
I think probably the easiest thing to do right off the bat would be to flip those stop signs. To see how that impacts that traffic. It's the least expensive too.
Okay, so put,
Seems to be about the easiest or the best solution to just get that done first, and then if that really doesn't curb it, move on to more expensive
It'd be a
alternatives.
four-way stop sign, is that what you're suggesting?
Or just flip the stop signs, you know, instead of having the stop from north to south, have it come from west to east.
so stop control on Von Kennel instead of East
Yeah.
Jelnik,
Yeah.
or East Jelnik instead of Von
Jelnik.
Kennel.
Set up right, yeah.
So,
I mean, we're not doing anything with that traffic circle right now. It's just a cross section, right?
yeah, correct. Yeah, that was just something I drew in. So I should have grabbed the octagon sign.
And
That
then
would have been better.
Lewis was saying we're not supposed to be using that as a trucking path, but they are.
Yeah, we have,
Truck isn't,
it's signed no trucks, but trucks still go down it. I think, you know, a lot of people, it's the same thing we hear about on Weston Avenue. People follow their GPS, you know,
yeah,
the trucker hops in, types in their destination, and it tells them where to go.
that's because all those businesses back there they're delivering to. There's a couple auto places and some other stuff back there that those drivers are probably heading to.
Yeah,
And they don't have problem turning in that corner?
I don't know how they make it through, honestly.
You need 65 feet radius for the truck to turn comfortable.
Yeah.
You don't have it, he's gonna go all over before he can turn. Okay, you're suggesting no circle in there, no roundabout at the center of it, shouldn't call it circle. Let's go for the stop sign.
My only thought would be, do we want to go with a four-way stop to decrease the potential for a collision because of people who are used to East Jellinek being without a stop sign, and now we're allowing people on Van Kennel to go through? You know, could there be confusion that leads to a crash? Would it be easier just to put a four-way stop there altogether?
Good point.
I agree with
Yeah, I
that
agree with
because
that too,
it always confused me. I'm not sure what's going on in there when I get to that intersection.
Make it a four-way stop then.
Yep. Thanks, Michael. Yep.
That does.
Thank you. Anything else?
Do we need to make a motion or?
Well, let's see what else you need from us.
That's probably good. Unless you have any other thoughts or ideas on this.
You may come back later if we send it to you.
Yeah.
I think you have to make a motion. Yes. I accept the motion. That we approve the intersection and also four-way stop sign, and also right in, right out at the intersection of Jellinek and Campbell.
And then possibly have a discussion with the captains about and
Extra patrol.
presence up there.
And then what about the speed bump?
They maybe see how the stop signs and the cops increase presence in the area
No speed bump, is that what you mean?
to see how that handles it, I guess. Right there.
You know, the patrol was there. I mean, some of my guys got the ticket from him.
Yeah.
Right in that one kennel because they were using it in the morning, come to work.
Yeah.
So, but it still is a problem.
Yeah. It said it's 7,500 for the,
Correct, yeah, so that for the removable So that model of one is,
That doesn't, and then every spring we gotta put it in, every fall we gotta take it out.
yeah, it comes in 3 pieces. So you have the middle and then the 2 ramps,
Those
so.
are just, they use, bars or pins to.
Yeah, there's some kind of anchor,
They're just drove in.
correct.
How bad does that rip up the asphalt after years? I guess you just patch it anyway, but.
Yeah, I mean, the anchors, I don't think are very large holes and,
Can we put it at the top of the hill?
yeah, you could put it. I mean, sometimes that's not a bad idea. Right before somebody crests the hill, they, you know, if they're already going 35 before they're at the top of the hill. It's a good reminder to slow down before you start going downhill.
And you know, I do know a couple folks that live in that subdivision off the south side where across from where the old trailer park used to be. They would have, you know, there's a lot of people that walk back there too.
Yeah.
So.
You know, and that's part of it. We'll have the multi-use path on the south side, so we don't have pedestrians in the roadway with vehicles too, so.
All right, that's it, right?
Should be, yeah.
Do we want this to be built then?
I'll accept the motion. You want me to repeat it? You gotta approve the cross section. Approve the speed bump, minimum 2 of them. And then 4-way stoplight, stop sign, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Okay, if I can just jump in
Yes,
the
sir.
middle, so we think that that's the worst road in our village, that we're gonna put $15,000 in 2 speed bumps. And not Jelnik by the apartments by Mount Olive. I mean, I just can't, I mean, that's kind of a dead area there, and I know the road's gonna get improved and it's gonna go faster. But that's the road we're gonna choose to put 2 speed bumps, and then winter, we're gonna take them out, in summer, we're gonna put them back. I just think those are designed for Florida. I don't think they're designed for in and out, in and out, in and out, you know, I just don't. And, I mean, can't we always put those in?
Yeah, we wouldn't have to do those right now. We could wait on that.
You know, if you're talking about putting those up at the top of the hill, how about a squad car, like right in that electrical area right there? I'll tell you, you'd be seeing some break lights like crazy, you know? I don't know.
The high school, don't even put them in anymore.
Yeah.
They got rid of them, so they got tired of taking them in and
I
all.
don't know.
Yeah.
Well, the Associated Bank does it, right?
Yeah. And those are true speed bumps. Those are
Yeah.
the tight ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just gonna speak up. I don't think those mats are necessary right now. I think by putting the 4-way stop, that's one measure we can see how it improves things. And then we can always reassess. But otherwise, I would move to approve the cross sections as designed, with the inclusion of a 4-way stop at Von Kennel and signage for a right in, right out at Highway X and East Jelinek.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Discussion? Discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? I have it, thank you. Item 11, Masker and Schofield Avenue intersection design update. Michael?
Yep. So we had a meeting with the local utilities, WPS Charter, Frontier, right before Christmas, and went over the attached preliminary plans. So the main items was really talking to WPS Electric about any conflicts with their overhead poles and system with the proposed traffic signals. And then also trying to get the sidewalk connection up to where it kind of stops on the east side. It stops right at the driveway up here. And then on the west side, it stops at Lee Avenue. So looking to continue that all the way through. The west side may not be feasible based on some of the initial feedback from WPS, but they'll be looking at what they need to do for their overhead pole. Likely, if they can just relocate this one pole at the southwest corner, they can, it'd be pretty minimal, I guess, relocations for all the utilities. There are existing pole boxes for the traffic signals that was installed when that intersection was redone in, I believe it was 1998. So we don't have boring or a lot of additional underground work for the traffic signals, which is a cost saver, so. So I guess that's where we're at right now. But
We had problem with overhead line.
yeah, currently the way the overhead is, it's this gray line here and it's in direct conflict with where kind of the traffic standard would be on the southwest corner. So that pole needs to get relocated, so we're not having power lines and traffic signals right next to each other.
So public service gonna do that
Public service is looking
at
at
our cost?
at their cost, that they're within the right of way, so.
Okay. Question?
What do you need from us, Michael?
Nothing, it was just kind of an update on where we're at there. Trustee Zagami asked last, what was that?
They're just gonna bump up the power lines, or what are we gonna do?
They have to relocate their pole, so it changes the angle of where it crosses at the intersection. And then it may cause them to have to put a pole where we were looking at having a sidewalk here.
WPS, is that our incurred cost, or is that?
That's at their cost, because they're within the right of way, so that's one of those things where in like in current plats, they like installing everything on an easement outside the right of way. That way, if we reconstruct a road and it causes them to do something, we end up having to pay for it because they're not in the public right of way.
Right.
But when they're in the public right of way and we make an improvement, it's on them to
Okay.
relocate their facilities.
So it's really not an issue we have to deal with.
No, just that we might not be able to fit, I guess, sidewalk on the north side if they have to put a different pole in there to account for that.
What can they, whatever they're relocating, can they plan for us putting one up there?
Yeah, the right of way is pretty tight on that west side, is all I'm saying, so. Right now, we're trying to squeeze it in, but if we can't, we can't.
Okay.
But we'll for sure have a sidewalk connection on the east side.
Okay.
I have one real quick question.
Yep.
Timeline wise, how does that line up with Von Cannell and East Jelinek? It's just gonna make it, there's already limited access in and out of that industrial park.
Yeah, I really don't foresee a whole lot of underground. I mean, there'll be a little bit for traffic loops, but that intersection should still be available. And yeah, I guess we'll have to coordinate that as far as when Von Kennel is being kind of disturbed.
To create a problem. I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, no, yeah, we'll have to coordinate it, you know. The Von Kennel East Jelinek project, we should have that known first when that schedule is, so then we can dictate the Mesker schedule off of that. But yeah, we want to make sure there's at least one of those intersections available.
Is there a right turn lane in there?
Yeah, so there would be, I guess there's probably not a right turn signal.
It's not showing it.
Yeah, so this was just really the electrical, but yeah, so that'd be the straight and through on Mesker and then or is it a left turn with a straight and right?
It's gonna be a right turn going east to Mesker. And also going right turn going west to Mesker. It should be. There's no reason for me to stay in the line, wait for the right turn.
Yeah, yeah, so it's probably a shared left turn straight and then the right turn only, yep,
Please,
yep,
okay,
double check that.
makes sense?
Good.
Right. Anything else?
Nope.
All right, you don't have to make a motion on this. I don't. Our next item is item 12, Fuller Street and Schofield Avenue update.
Yep,
Excuse me, Michael, what's the schedule on this project?
on Fuller,
No,
Mesker?
Yeah,
Yeah, so that should get bid this spring with construction, 2024 here.
so we're gonna have another shot at this project. A better plan to show.
Yeah, correct, yeah, it's not, so that was the plans for the utility coordination, so that they didn't want to get too far in case something major had to get shifted because of power, gas lines, whatever it may be.
Okay, and then this electrical one, did you talk about it to have all the light turn red when the fire department take off from there?
Correct, yeah, so that's a specification for the traffic signals.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
They know that you already talked to them. Great. Item 12, Fuller Street and Schofield Avenue.
Yeah, so we talked about this one at the last meeting, went to the board, they recommended alternative 3, which realigned Fuller Street, but left the side streets with stop control. And Schofield Ave free flowing, so working with Becker Hoppy on the contract amendment for the realignment design. I haven't received that yet from them. And then also working on getting a meeting scheduled with Aero Sports Bar. Between the holidays wasn't achievable or possible, I guess, there, but should be getting something here in the next week or so to kind of discuss their preferences for where that realignment goes, what they're more favorable towards, so we can make that realignment design, I guess, as user friendly as possible. So
This realignment is not perpendicular to Schofield.
uh,
Why is showing this unless my eye doesn't see good?
Why
Yeah.
does that swing so much on that?
that was
Instead of a more gradual.
this was from the Schofield Ave corridor plan. It was solely a plan. So that's the thing, like, my guess is I would try to swing it up here more.
Okay,
Um,
I looked at that and I thought, it just doesn't even look like it makes sense.
There is
Not
a,
90 degree, gotta be 90 degree to Schofield.
yeah, we can swing it sooner. That was a animation, nothing to be,
Okay, so this is not like, okay, because I was gonna see, my recommendation is this looks terrible.
yeah, no, this, that came from out of the Schofield Ave corridor plan.
What is it? You don't like the color in there?
I don't like the way that swings so far on that.
Yeah, no, that'd probably start up here and come more straight this way, unless for
Straight
some
this way,
reason Arrow said, hey, I want this road to come here and then zigzag over or
Yeah, and
something.
then I couldn't figure out why well, I know you need to service that cell phone tower thing,
Yeah.
right? So you need is that why that other road?
I believe so. So this would get fleshed out. Like I said, this was just the
Okay.
concept from the corridor plan.
Okay, yeah,
So
okay, good. Yeah,
it's just the quickest thing I could find that already existed that showed it there and put stop signs up,
Okay.
so. So, yeah, I guess just an update on that one.
Any question for Michael on this? No?
Thank you.
All right. Item 13, Green 3-acre preliminary plats and plan discussion.
Sure, so this will be taken up at the plan commission meeting after this, but I guess, give you guys a little update on what's being planned. So this is for a future subdivision coming off of Moose and Muskie in the Sandy Meadow subdivision and connecting down to Ross Avenue, just east of Riverbend Road. So kind of see that layout up there. So this is Muskie, Moose, Riverbend Road is over here and Kramer Lane is just off the screen here to the east. So this was a new 34 acre parcel that was recently annexed in. So they're proposing the extension of sanitary sewer water through. All sewer can flow to this low point over here. So the lots can be served by gravity.
Where is your arrow? I can't see it.
Oh, sorry. So the Muskie intersection or sanitary sewer invert was low enough where it can catch gravity flow from, these lower lots through.
So we have one exit and entrance on Ross Avenue,
Yep.
and the other two roads going to be connected to someplace, so
Yes.
people they can get out of it.
Yep, yeah, so these two dead end stubs already exist.
Yeah,
So they'll tie into those two dead end stubs.
okay. And then where is the infiltration pond?
So this area on the, I guess, northwest corner is one pond, and then this
Where's the
outlet,
pond again?
it'd be right up here at the very northwest. Was it lot, was it? Oh, it just says outlot 1.
Okay, and there he said
And then
he's
this,
gonna use composting in there, plus on-site material. We don't know what's the on-site material, how much fine in it. And then composting, is it not prevent the infiltration in there?
yeah, so those would all have to pass, the proper gradations for that, so.
Who's gonna do that? DNR will do that?
Or American Engineering would do it.
Because I'll be definitely be concerned.
Yeah.
Plus, they got a topsoil they're putting at the bottom and everything else in there.
Yeah,
And it's supposed to be infiltration.
correct. Yeah, so you mix the topsoil with sand to create a sandy mixture that does allow it.
Mhm. And then you have something common in there. I agree with you on your comment, what you have.
Yeah, I guess the biggest concern is no future connection over to the east. You know, this subdivision is benefiting from the 2 stubs that exist currently,
Yeah,
so. I guess there probably should at least be 1 over to the east. So that in the future, if this area develops, we don't have another road that needs to come out to Ross Avenue.
I thought that property was sloping toward Ross Avenue, isn't it?
There's a high point kind of right up in here. And then it kind of slopes east. I don't have contours to quickly throw on, but I guess this would be the more advantageous place for a sewer extension in the future to connect to. Because this is, I believe it's about 20 feet deeper than the sewer up here, because this one's at the top of the hill.
Right.
This one's more at the lower end.
Okay.
So.
Anything else?
No, like I said, this will be talked about in probably half an hour at Plan Commission, if anybody wants to stick around, but, all right.
Any question?
No.
Yours? No? Okay, I'll accept the motion on this.
Yeah, I don't know if I actually had a motion, did I? I think I just copied the Plan Commission packet, so, I guess I don't necessarily need a motion unless you have something that,
Well, if you're here, you have it.
Sure.
To recommend the preliminary plat for Green 3 acres
sure,
to the board of the trustee with the following condition.
okay.
Is that what you want or?
Well, yeah, so I copied this without realizing Aaron had a motion on the bottom as I grabbed it, so, that would work, that's fine.
It's really Plan Commission's
It's
motion.
really Plan Commission's motion, so, it was more or less an FYI for Public Works.
Okay. There's no question for Michael? Item 14 next meeting, Monday, February 12, 2024 at 4:30 PM is a regular meeting, and B, Monday, March 11, 2024 at 4:30 PM regular meeting. Future item? None at this time. Well,
Just the Jelnik and,
Jelnik, yes.
Weston.
Remark from administrator,
None this evening, thank you.
remark from staff. Remark from committee member. Louis,
Nothing.
you do, I see they fixed the light at the intersection of Alderson and Schofield Avenue.
Yep.
But Birch Street is still no light.
Yeah, hopefully they're gonna get there today. If not, I don't know about the snow and
Today.
they didn't get there today? Okay,
He wasn't there.
all right, yeah, so Van Aert's working on quite a handful of different street lighting things for us right now, so.
Yeah, I saw him at the Alderson with his left. That's only 10 feet pole, he got it left in there. That's okay. No announcement. I'll accept the motion to adjourn the meeting. Second,
One second.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
I-
I
Opposed, I have it. Thank you very much.